I wanted to come on and make this video because me and my partner recently purchased a Mammotion Yuka Mini. This is the 600 square meter version, and we looked at loads of reviews before buying it, and they were all on bold and green, perfect lawn. They were all sponsored. It was hard to find a real review. So this is a real review. This obviously hasn't been given to us. You can see the lawn's not perfect. And these are my thoughts and how it's been going. So I just want to start off by saying I don't really know anything about lawn care, so take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. Obviously, I'm giving my thoughts on the machines, but quality of the cut, I'm just going off feel and what I think. Whether it's good or not, in a professional's eyes, I don't know. I want to apologise for the wind. It's quite windy at the moment, so if it's hard to hear, I apologise. And just on that note, you probably can't hear me now because the noise isn't that bad really. You could probably leave it more at night, but the grass is quite dry and quite long here, so it's challenging. It's a little bit noisy. It's not mental. It wouldn't bother anyone during the day. It probably wouldn't really bother anyone at night with the windows shut. You might hear a little noise here and there. Not too bad. Maybe you can hear it in the video, I'm not sure. A little bit of a close look at the garden. You can see there's quite a few tufts. Maybe it doesn't come across on camera, but it is quite long. This grass was just left for quite a long time. You can see that we've got some dead patches here. So if you've not seen one of these before, that's obviously the mower itself. This is the Yuka Mini, the 600 square meter version, not the bigger one, which for us is plenty because the garden is, I think when I'm at about 180 square meters, so more than enough for us. And this is the base station with the charger there. These don't come, these were just 3D printed, bit of TPU, little bumpers, and obviously the spoiler isn't standard. That's just an extra 5 horsepower there. So you get the base station, which normally it'd be on a pole, like a tripod type thing, and the RTK, which is this thing here, which basically gives you a bit extra GPU, helps you boost it if you're surrounded by houses and big trees and so on. But we've got plenty of blue skies here, and I don't think it's really needed for us, but it's there just in case. If it's there, why not use it? Right, bit of a closer look. Ignore that the stickers and stuff are still on it. But you've got the height control here, so you've got increments of 5mm all the way from 60 to 20mm. Grass cutting, start, power, home, and your emergency stop here. It doesn't actually show you this in the manual, but, or at least I couldn't find it. These are charge indicators. You've got the GPS, so when it's blue, I think it's searching. When it's green, you found it. These mean it's fully charged. When they're pulsing, it's charging. Cameras on the front there, or like the crash detection and so on. Lights, or when you're using it at night, that'll come on. You can toggle that on or off in the app yourself. And then at the back, these are the little plates. When they touch, we haven't got that fastened on. When these touch, that's what does the charging. Pretty simple, really. Obviously, underneath you've got the blades and such, but I'm not going to flip that over and bother you, showing all the blades. You can see how I've got it set up here. It's a little bit unconventional because it's not our garden, it's just a property we're looking after. And you can see the chalk outline there. Basically, I've got that so the base station always goes in the same place, and then it knows where its home is, because the first time we came and then set it up, second time we came, base station was in a different place and it didn't like it. Obviously you wouldn't normally have that issue, but we did because it's a bit of an unusual circumstance. So yeah, that's basically just how I've got it at the moment. You can see that there. And now we'll get on with the mapping out, because we did set it up as one big zone, but because it's not our property, we're just coming to basically check on it and keep up with the maintenance, then it was going to take too long. So last time we done it, it took 5 hours to do the full thing. And obviously, when you're just coming to set it off, you don't really want to be waiting 5 hours. So we're going to split it back into zones, and then we can do a zone at a time, and also then weed and feed the grass. So a bit of a different view now, but I'm going to show you the app. And something I would like to mention is that when setting this up, it says you don't need Wi-Fi or anything like that, just Bluetooth connection and GPS. And because we're not at our home, we're just looking after a property, there's no Wi-Fi here. I'm not sure why that's just changed, but there's no Wi-Fi here. And when trying to connect it up, it was asking for Wi-Fi. It came up on the app skip, but it wouldn't let me skip. And as you can see at the top there, the network strength, what's it called? Well, anyway, the signal strength's not great for your network. And to get it to pair, we had to hotspot off each other's phones, me and partner. And it was just a bit of a ball ache, so just something to be wary of. Probably not an issue for most people, but turns out it was for us. Enough waffling about that. So on with the maps. Right, so you can see we are getting to the end of the lap of the perimeter now, and it's going to know that we're somewhere near. And there we go. Task area mapping is complete. Save.
Task area mapping complete.
So I'm going to map out the other area, and then I'll be back. Just something to note with this, you can seem to have overlapping areas. So if I went to create a new area now, to add a task area, ensure robot is not inside any of the current areas. So I need to drive him out of where I've just mapped. Robot is outside of task area. So now I can start mapping again. And I'm going to do the same thing again, trying to keep it as close as I can to obviously the perimeter, so we don't get a tuft of grass right along the edge there, which isn't a massive deal, and again, sort of a bit niche to my circumstances. So I'll map out the second area and I'll be back once again. Just coming up to finish the last area, and there it is. You can see now done, and something a bit unique to my circumstance again, because I've got the two zones, this one and this side, then there is going to be a strip through the centre here that I'm going to have to trim. I tried to overlap them, but it doesn't like it. Again, sound like a broken record, but something unique to me. You're most likely not going to have this issue. Now with them done, let's go on to mowing. So I'm just going to select mow. This time I wanted to do area 1, which is the longer path that I showed you, which is all full of ruts and the grass is pulling up in lumps and bumps and so on. And area 1, 74 metres squared, and it's going to take 33 minutes. Personally, I find that's very optimistic. It could just be because the grass is quite long here and it's quite challenging, but normally it's nowhere near that. Last time I done the full lawn, it said 60 something minutes, and it ended up taking closer to 5 with all the charging and everything else. So settings default there, you can change the task speed, which I want it to be as fast as possible because we need to be in here, cut and away. Cut and path optimal, you can go in there. That's optimal, it'll work it out what's best for itself. Customize, you can change the angle of the stripes, and random, which means it'll cut different every time. I want it on optimal, and if we go down to more, then you can see zigzag, checkerboard, you can change the angle of the chessboard, checkerboard, whatever you want, and adaptive zigzag, which means it'll find the best way to do it itself again. I like the lawns, and you can set it to perimeter only, but I like the lawns with the stripes, so we're going to leave it on that. The perimeter mowing laps, you can change it. Obstacle detection, I turn it off because of the clumps and big mounds of grass. Then it thinks that's something in the way and wants to crash into them. Doesn't want to crash into them, sorry. so it'll go around them where I just wanted to plough straight over. And you can have it to the zigzag, the lines first, or the perimeter first. I'll leave it on zigzag first. I don't know if it makes any difference. And you can also say change the start progress. So if for whatever you needed to fail so far through, or you just wanted to do a certain part, you can set that there. But we're just going to leave it all as it was pretty much and go with start. Row buttons enabled to access the target area, set a channel. So basically what that means is you can see on the graphic there, it wants to know how to get from one area to the other. And let me just check which area we are in. So I should just be able to drive it straight forwards. Oop, sorry. I need to start mapping channel.
Start mapping a channel.
You can hear that. Well, maybe you can't because the wind's quite bad, but we just said start mapping channel. And this is going to be the path that it follows to get from one area to the other. It knows that it's done that. Save.
Channel mapping complete.
Now I can go back to more. Area 1. Been through all of that. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, blah, blah. Now it's checked that it's ready to go. That the GPS is working. That it's got battery and the cameras are working. Next. And you can see that it's now going to take itself to the task area and it'll work out where it wants to start mowing and it'll do that. So I'll show you that in a moment. You can see there that it is now mowing. A big tuft of grass there just went through. So I'll just show you this for a minute. Obviously not the usual lawn that you'd see it on. There we go. Right, so I'm going to let it get on with this task area that I've mapped out. And in the meantime, while it's doing that, I'll get you some B-roll shots. Hopefully you can see behind me here where it's cut and where it hasn't. But once it's done, we'll come back, take a look at the lawn, see how it's got on, and I will give you my final thoughts. And there we go. As you can see, he's back charging and the grass is now cut. Now, don't judge this bit too harshly here because that has been raked. This side hasn't. And in real life, you can definitely tell a difference. I think on camera it comes across, but maybe not so much. It has missed some little tufts just along here. But again, back to this section. The reason that we are raking it is because you can see the amount of length that it is still taking off. And this isn't what it's meant for. It's meant for just maintaining the same sort of length and cutting every day, not taking absolutely massive clumps and clumps of grass off like this. So we have been raking it just to get the dead grass off, which is why that side looks a bit shabby. But anyway, we carry on. So as for the bits that's missed, such as these little lumps here, again, this is meant to be used every day or pretty much every day. So at some point it would catch those parts and it wouldn't be as noticeable as it is now, but still something to note. So I guess the question is, would we recommend it? And the answer is definitely yes. Although it does miss some parts, it definitely makes life a whole lot easier. And as I've said previously, we are using it in an unconventional manner. You're not meant to just come 2-3 times a week and let it off, especially when it was as long as it is. You'll see in the clips how long it actually was, and what it's got to do is unbelievable. It's not one of these Bowling Green perfect golf course style lawns that you see everyone else using them on. It is being left for months and months and months, and this is what it's got to do. Again, it makes our life a lot easier. We can just come, set it up, let it go, and we can go for a walk in the countryside, do what we want, go for a coffee, clean something else inside the house, get on with other jobs like that, just tackle the lawn, and we don't need to think about it. I'm not a lawn care expert. I don't really know anything about lawns, as I've said previously. All I know is I don't like them, and that makes my life a hell of a lot easier. So if you're on the fence, wondering if you should get one, hopefully this has helped. We wholeheartedly recommend it. We love it. And if you're interested in a long-term review or seeing how the lawn gets on, then feel free to let me know in the comments. Or again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer any that I can. Thank you.